There's a lot of activity going on, and actually as soon as the sun sets, so we'll go right into it. Although, we'll take a detour first. One of the highlights of June is that summer will start at 3:34 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It's summer in the northern hemisphere, winter in the southern hemisphere.
What day of the week is that?
I don't know.
No. Anyway, we'll do stuff up here.
Smart people can
At
figure it
local
out,
noon
though.
and at sunset, we'll have talks. It'll be fun.
Today's the 9th.
We'll still do talks. We do them.
On Monday?
Yeah. We do them on the solstices, so yeah, we'll be there.
Okay, so the first planet you can see as it gets dark, if you look high up to the southwest, is Jupiter. That's that bright yellow object in the constellation Leo. And what can I say? I mean, it has the belt and the red spot. And amateur astronomers who've been photographing it, Jupiter spins all the way around in 10 hours. So even though Jupiter is up currently about 6 hours, you can see most of the surface if you watch it through a telescope. So if you put together a bunch of pictures, you get a strip chart, as it's called, of the clouds. Now, Mars also, of course, is famous. It's been in,
Mars Attacks.
Yes. One of our songs.
Yeah, it was at opposition on the 22nd, I believe. And that night, Blake Estes, the same fellow I mentioned who took the nice nebula picture, brought a different camera up here, and we worked together to get this Mars image. So it's a black and white camera, but it's shot through red, blue, green, and infrared filters. That's kind of a challenge with our old refractor because every color actually focuses at a slightly different point. So we had to refocus it for each filter, but we made a table of what color focuses where, and there's a marker on the telescope that actually indicates that. So anyway, he did this beautiful job. This is only the second picture of Mars he'd ever taken with the rig, and this big triangular thing is what's called Syrtis Major, which was actually the first dark marking seen on Mars back in the 1700s.
More so, though, I'm curious about that white stuff up top. Is
Oh, yeah, these are actually clouds covering the let's see, I can't remember, this is oriented. This is the south polar cap of Mars. This is actually the north pole. So this is actually how it's oriented as we see it in a telescope. And traditionally, astronomers put south on the top. But this is probably the most familiar view if you look at Mars. Nowadays, actually, people do quite often put north on the top like we do with our own Earth. We think of it more as a planet. But it still looks wrong to me, because most pictures you see of this feature are this way. So bear with me, I did orient these particular ones. We saw a huge cloud, and that's over a volcano, although I meant to tell you which one, and I forgot to look it up. But anyway, the other planet, yesterday Saturn was at opposition. In other words, opposite the sun in the sky, closest to the Earth. And the exciting thing that happens with Saturn, now Saturn's so far away, it's not much closer, it's still 800 million miles away. But the rings light up. So I did look at Saturn last night, and the rings are noticeably brighter than the planet itself. Usually they're the same brightness, but right at opposition, they brighten up, and you can really see that difference. Now, in the morning sky, most of the planets are setting, so not that much to look at. But what I want to point out are these constellations Capricornus and Aquarius. Not terribly bright, but there's a neat thing happening this month and on through August, actually. But I'll just show you the June part. There's a comet called Pan-STARRS C2013X1. Not an exciting name, but as David pointed out, comets nowadays are mostly named by for the surveys that discover them. And there's a lot of Pan-STARRS comets. But this one is already actually pretty high in the southeast sky before sunrise, and then, well, actually around 2, 3 in the morning. And then, well, I think I set this, 4 o'clock a.m. is what this chart's for. And then it will head down towards the Scorpius area. This is a picture taken on the 11th through equivalent of about a 200 millimeter telephoto lens. So you can see it's dust tail and a gas tail. And then another more recent picture, just taken with the 18th, I believe, by Gerald Ryman. He's an Austrian astronomer, but he uses remote telescopes in Africa to get pictures. This is higher up in the southern hemisphere, And until just very recently, the moon has been blocking our view. But the moon is now just about new, and we'll have at least a couple weeks coming up where if you go out of the city, out to the desert or mountains, you'll be able to see this. Also, just want to mention this is a great time to go see the Milky Way too. If you haven't seen our own edge-on view of the galaxy, you certainly won't see it from the city. And you really have to be kind of picky where you go. You can go up in the mountains and stuff, but there's a lot of city glow and stuff that comes up. I kind of feel excited about it because I was up in Big Bear for the telescope conference at the end of May, and just east of Big Bear, the sky's so much darker that the Milky Way is absolutely spectacular there. But most people, I'm afraid, don't actually get to see it.